Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over all the varieties that I decided to plant in that orchard that hopefully y'all watch the video of actually getting all these in the ground. I'm going to talk about everything that we went ahead and planted and talk a little bit about why I planted each of these, and we'll just go through and give you a little bit of history of the plants also because some of the figs especially have some cool history. But yeah, today we'll just go through and look at everything and talk a little bit about it. All right, so this first one, it's called a Marseilles Black BS. This one's sort of cool. I chose it not necessarily because it does great in our environment, but I chose it because it has sort of a cool history to it. This one in particular comes from a mother tree that in World War II, a soldier over in France brought back cuttings for his wife from parts of France. And he planted them in Oregon, and that's where this fig originates from. So I just thought it was a cool history. A lot of people have told me that it's a pretty good fig also. Problem is it sometimes splits in humid environments, and we are close to the coast, so hopefully it does pretty well. It's looking great so far, but yeah, I'm excited to try the figs on this one. This one right here is from my buddy Miles. It was the first fig cutting that I ever got. It's shot up like crazy. I'm excited to see how well it does. He doesn't remember what it was. We believe that it is a either a brown turkey or a Chicago Hardy. We'll hopefully be able to identify it whenever it produces figs. This one is called a CDA. It's Constantine D. Argentini. Don't quote me on that. This one's pretty cool because it will produce these yellow sweet figs. And one of the reasons why I chose this one in particular, especially for down here, is because the yellow figs will help with the birds and all the other pests that like to come and eat the figs. And that way, whenever we come down here, maybe it may be 2 weeks or a month till we're able to get back down here and these are producing figs. Hopefully this one has more figs than the rest of them that are purple. We'll see, but yeah, it's a cool like yellow sort of long fig. So we'll see whenever it actually starts producing. So I put these two next to each other for a reason. This one is a Celeste fig. If you know anything about figs or do any research, everybody speaks very highly of it. Does very well in the South. Some people consider it just a Southern fig. And I bought that one just because it's simply known to produce extreme amount of figs, and it does very well with the humidity. Shouldn't split. Obviously, it might if we get 5 gallons of rain, but it should do really well. And then I planted this LSU purple right next to it, simply because LSU, when they did their program, did a lot of crossbreeding with Celeste figs. So I wanted these two just to be close to each other, just because it's cool that this one essentially came from this one. If you ever want to go down a rabbit hole, you can go and look at LSU's fig program. It's pretty cool. They ended up with like 21 or 27 different types of figs that they produced back in the 1970s. And people are still talking about them and using them, and they're sort of coming back in popularity. There's a ton. I have some more back at the house that hopefully I'll plant down here in the future, but this guy's just shot up like crazy. And he seems to be doing really well down here. I don't see any figs yet. I had some Braba on a few of these figs, but they all fell off. Not really surprising. This is the first time they're in the ground. They're trying to settle those roots, so we'll see how they do. All right, so right here is my Melchi plum. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I chose this one just because it's supposed to do really well in the South, once again. And the issue that I have is that I need something that needs low chill hours because we don't get a ton here, but also it can survive 110-degree weather while it's also 90% humidity. And we do get random spurts of below freezing. Now it's not long. I think the most in the past 5 years is we've had it below freezing for a week, and that was like 31 degrees. But a couple months ago, we did have a cold frost come through here, and it was in the 20s. Now, that's perfectly fine for these, but something like the banana tree or the satsuma, that's more of an issue. So everything you see in here is going to be set up for that. That's why I selected this one. It specifically has low chill hours, which is great. but it also won't die when it comes to 110 degrees. And it's doing super well. It's putting off a lot of leaves, which is impressive because it only planted these a couple months ago. All right, so right here we have a peach tree. I forgot the name of this peach tree. I believe it's Albert or Alberta. I forgot the name of it, but it's that Albert version. And then we have another one over there that's a Texas peach. I wanted two peaches because my wife really likes peaches, but also these are low chill hour peaches that should hopefully do well in Texas. We had a peach tree back at our house that did super great, and then sadly it died. So we'll see how these do. It seems like they're doing pretty well so far. A little bit slow to grow, but that's all right. Now onto the pomegranate. This is a Texas pomegranate. It's doing super well. I don't know if y'all remember in the planting video, I had some ant problems that I was worried about. Seems to be doing perfectly fine, and yeah, this one's made for the Texas native soil, so it should be great. I was gonna get a wonderful, but once again, I want something down here that's gonna produce and do very well in the Texas environment. So this guy's been great so far. This is a blue Java banana tree, and if you ever get into banana trees, you'll learn very quickly that there's tons of varieties and there's tons of arguments over whether certain varieties are the same variety, exactly like figs. Blue Java, they also call it a ice cream banana tree, but there's some discrepancy whether or not ice cream is the same as blue Java. This one I know is a blue Java, and the reason why I really like this one is because it's cold hardy down to 20 degrees. So it should be perfectly fine. And with all the humidity and sun here, that's not going to bother it. It's just going to shoot up even better and do perfectly fine. But I need it for those random days that it does get down into the 20s. So that one's cool. It's doing super well down here so far. This is my Arctic Frost Satsuma. And Satsumas are one of those citrus trees that usually they do perfectly fine when it gets into they're a little bit more cold hardy. This one's doing great. It should be cold hardy down to 20 to 15 degrees. It's been putting off a ton of growth, but yeah, I'm excited to see how it works. These last two, and I say the last two because the one over there is just a peach tree, are the Fajoas that I planted. And I planted these because they are evergreen, and I sort of wanted an evergreen shrub or hedge right here, so it'll slowly intermingle with the Arctic Frost Satsuma, and these two will combine. And I like these just because they're sort of a unique flavor and taste. They're called Fajoas. There's multiple varieties of them. This one in particular is a pineapple guava variety. It's sort of cool because when the fruit's ripe, they drop on the ground, and that's how you know that it's time to eat them. You sometimes have to give them a couple days, but it's not like you're waiting to pick it off. When they're dropped on the ground, that's when you pick them up, and they're probably good to eat. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's the reason why I chose all the varieties that I just showed you all for this ranch. Mostly has to do with the fact that it'll be 110 and 90% humidity, but then we'll have one random day during the winter where it's 20 degrees or it's at least below freezing for a couple days. I mean, just for example, yesterday it was 90 degrees, and today I'm wearing a jacket because I woke up and it was 47 degrees, and it really has not gotten warmer. So hopefully these guys will do great. So far they're doing amazing. I'll keep you all updated on the whole thing. If you have any questions on the varieties, I'll try to answer them the best that I can. Besides that, there's tons of research out there, which is super nice. But yeah, hopefully everything goes well, and I'll keep you all updated. Y'all have a good one.